Dímelo, mi gente, Marco here again, and today we're going to be doing our weekly Ondo Tokenization Roundup, where we talk about all the biggest news that are happening at Ondo as well as the RW/crypto space. We, as always, have a lot of great, amazing news every single week that Ondo provides for us. So thank you so much for everyone that watches. This is becoming one of my favorite series in the whole channel. So thank you so much. Please always remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first one is coming from the CFTC Chair, Carolyn Pham. And honestly, she is locking in. She is doing amazing work. She has a keynote address here that it is really long. We're not going to be reading all over it. I think I just want to talk about really the CFTC's crypto sprint. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But, you know, obviously, always read all these articles. Anyways, she says, in August, I announced the CFTC's 12-month crypto sprint to implement the President Working Group recommendations. I have long advocated that the simplicity is the solution, and the US must have a durable and flexible approach to regulation that will keep with continuing innovation and stand the test of time. I have cautioned that we must take to heart the lessons learned from the Dodd-Frank Act, which has unintended consequences such as creating regulatory moats and market fragmentation. So basically, all this, crypto sprint that we are trying to implement is going to take it into effect. So the rulemaking is expected to begin next year and be completed by August 2026. So it looks like everything that we're seeing, right? Like the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, all the other, presidential, spot listing, crypto trading, banks, this and that, everything is going to be taken into effect by the latest 2026, hopefully, right? These stuff takes time. So we're not really going to see all the full implementation until like 2027, 2028, really. But hopefully all these things get cleared up right away. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Pham. And yeah, obviously read all of it. It's really interesting. So it's an easy read. Anyway, she posted this and she says lock in is locked in, but she is locking in as well as, it says tokenized markets are here and they are the future. She says also yes, as well as, is the Carolyn Pham, commentary or video today. But she says, promises kept. Today, I announced CFTC's interpretation to unlock over $22 billion of collateral that can be redeployed to support U.S. economic growth. It's the latest cost saving that we have delivered this year to benefit all Americans. So obviously, all these rules are in America. Some of my viewers, are not in America. But if you're in America, definitely I'll leave this inscription down below so you can read it. And I think this one is one of the most important ones. So it says the Acting Chair seeks nomination for CFTC CEO Innovation Council by December 8th. So it looks like there's going to be, a council of some of the biggest CEOs in the whole game, to do like prediction markets, perpetual contracts, and 24/7 trading. So the CFTC's crypto sprint is to implement all the digital asset markets report recommendations is targeted to continue through August 2026 and include listed spot listing trading, tokenized collateral, and stablecoins, and rulemaking to enable the use of blockchain technology and market infrastructure. So basically, they're getting all the best CEOs in the whole world to kind of, help with regulation, help with innovation, and I think that's just overall, positive. Hopefully, hopefully it leads to something, right? Hopefully it leads to better products and better, stuff that we could use as a consumer and some better apps. So the next one, we already talked about this. We already made a video about this, but they had it there. And if you didn't watch the previous video, it says that Ondo received EU approval to offer tokenized stocks and ETFs across all of Europe. So this approval expands the reach of Ondo's tokenized stocks and ETFs to over 500 million investors across the EU and the EU economic area or economic region. So it's really amazing. Basically all 30 European markets. Well, I don't know if it's 30 EU countries, but it offers tokenized stocks and ETFs to retail investors in 30 European markets and operates within a regulated EU-wide framework aligned with investor protected standards. So since launch, they have over $1 billion in volume and 315 million in TVL, and it just continues rising. I think it's gonna, Ondo's gonna be one of those projects that in 2026, 2027, 2030 is going to, I'm happy to see where this is going. So the next one comes from Kraken, and they raised $800 million to advance strategic roadmap, and Citadel Securities invested $200 million. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I will say, a lot of people are, really bearish about the economic environment that we are here in crypto, and just them raising, $800 million is the valuation is 20 billion. That just to me proves that we're not in that bad of a market as other people may, seem like it. So yeah, honestly, they're offering, spot trading, derivatives, equities, tokenized assets, staking, and payments, and they're going to be offering many, many more. They're going to become a super app. So I'm really happy for them, and hopefully, they continue excelling in the future. And last but not least, and this one is really funny and kind of ties into what the US is doing right now. And it says banks' capital rules when holding crypto needs to be reworked. And I just want to, obviously, you guys should read this, but what I want to take about from this is this part. So the framework proposed in 2021 by the Basel Committee, the global standard setter for bank prudential regulations, was set to come into force at the start of the next year. The widespread growth of stablecoins this year has led to banks for rethinking. Because, right, they were so focused on Bitcoin, they were so focused, and it says it here, the focus back then was very much on the Bitcoins of the world. Now, of course, everyone is talking about stablecoins. So this, to me, is why, regulation needs to be not as loose, right? But they need to allow for innovation, right? Because this technology evolves super, super fast. These are trends that 1 month is something, the next month is another. So they were, super focused and hyper focused on Bitcoin, and now they have to do stable coins. It took 5 years to, get this regulation right, quote unquote. I didn't read it, but it took the proposal 5 years to finally be, set, and now they have to rethink it. So in probably 4 or 5 years, they're going to be rethinking it again and again and again. It's just what's going to continue happening. So it's best to kind of, set a standard without being too strict. Again, I didn't read it, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please always before investing, none of this is financial advice. Always read the news, read the articles. I always leave in the description down below. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I do not say it enough. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.